If the sound is working, hardly even any time to get my act together. If the sound is working, hardly even any time to get my act together. If the sound is working, hardly even. Okay, there we go. Okay, let's try this. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm John Miglosh for the WDMA. We're going to be talking about data today, right? Data. Okay, so here we go. But first, we're going to try and get this queued up in time for something. Let's see if this works. And here we go. It's working better than it used to, I have to say.
It's back to school time, which this year has a whole new meaning. That's why today I'm introducing Aviation American Gin Homeschool Edition. It's just like the classic, delicious aviation gin that you love, but with more ounces. It can help with a variety of subjects, 4th grade geography, whatever the new math is, and revisiting your own long-forgotten middle school traumas.
Middle school is the worst.
Okay, so that was the large size aviation gin, and the reason I'm playing that is because I found an article, of course. There's always articles you probably would miss otherwise. Ryan Reynolds, marketing genius from The Hustle. And part of the motivation for that is that Reynolds acquired 25% stake in Mint Mobile. You know I'm a big fan of Mint Mobile. They sent me this semi-three-dimensional mailer. Well, at least it was thicker than some. And it gives you a free fake tattoo. See if you can see that. With Ryan Reynolds on there. No regrets. Which I thought I was going to wear because I'm a big fan of Mint Mobile. I have Mint Mobile. But now they sold out to T-Mobile. And the commercial was really lame because it was the CEO of T-Mobile wanted to get in on it, like, we're buying you, na, 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 na. Anyway, really disappointing, so I'm looking for other mobile alternatives. Anyway, so he should have pocketed, well, I don't know what he paid for the, you got to think of the cost here. I don't know what he paid for the 25% stake in Mint Mobile, but I bet he doubled his money at least, probably more than that. Probably quadrupled it or something in 4 years. That's not bad. So, he came away with $340 million or so. I did that math my own self in my head. And CEO Mike Sievert touted the benefits of Mint's marketing formula, which largely centers around Reynolds. Reynolds also co-founded the production studio Maximum Effort, which did the Aviation Gin series of commercials, some of my favorites. He's got a production studio in Canada. When he first got Aviation Gin going, which I guess he founded in Portland, Oregon, I think, he said, an American classic owned by a Canadian, because he is Canadian, in case you didn't know. So he's had a lot of successes. He bought a 5th-tier Welsh football team, and one of the interesting things about the football leagues over in Europe is if you buy a rotten one, one that's been doing terrible, and they start doing well, they move up in the leagues. They can join other leagues, better leagues. So the Premier League in England has new members coming in and out of it. If the new members do really badly, then they drop out and someone else comes in. And so there's actually a mechanism where you could really, really maximize your value over time if you could jazz up he's increased the threefold increase in season ticket sales and a myriad of sponsorship deals, which allow you to then buy better players, right? And all of a sudden, that you can really multiply your valuation, which is one of my concerns and my interests. He's also looking to conjure the same magic with the Ottawa Senators. I'm sure probably over in Ottawa, Canadian hockey team. I think he could he should meet Jesse and the Savannah Bananas. So I'll try to get that to Ryan somehow today. Suggest that he take a look at the Savannah Bananas. I think he and Jesse could make a great team. Okay, I ran across this yesterday. What is a data clean room? It's really interesting. It's where a couple of walled gardens might collaborate. And this is the big problem with it. The big problem with it is you got to get big companies who don't want to share data to let you share their data, in an area that's neutral, on a neutral playing field. Oh, why am I wearing this hat? Because the Badgers have won their first two NIT games, so they are now still playing when basically all but Michigan State of the Big Ten is toast. Purdue, of course, famously never will live this down, lost to a number 16 seed, which wasn't even really a 16 seed. It was a 68th seed, and it wasn't even that. I mean, it really, really had no business being in the tournament, and Purdue went down in flames. Never really led. The little guys, their average height was 6'1". Purdue, interestingly, had the tallest guy in the NCAA tournament at 7'4". So it literally looks like Gulliver's Travels. But anyway, Wisconsin is playing Oregon tonight out there on the West Coast. I'm not sure if they're not favored. If they play to the end and they play hard, they can beat anybody, right? That's my philosophy, I think. But too often they watch the clock when they get a lead and they go up in smoke. Anyway, so this clean room has some real problems. It's good for big companies. I actually went for this article because when we got started, we got started really before the idea of a cloud. When we got started, Microsoft hired us just to ask us how we did it, not to do anything for them, but just to say, is it really possible to put 250 million transactions through a Pentium? And that was a Pentium with probably, I don't know, 320 mega RAM or something. I mean, no giga RAM, no nothing. The very first Pentium processor. I mean, it was really, really small. It's 1994 or so. And we were on the Borland website for a couple of years as a case study. So we got into the data game before big data, before the cloud. And, I kept asking Jim and Ted and the guys, hey, shouldn't we give clients access to their data? Shouldn't they be able to run queries and stuff on our platform? And Jim said to me, well, when has a marketing question ever been what they really wanted? What they asked, was it really what they wanted? No, never. So then why would you let them access the data directly? And the side benefit of this was no one could access the data. I couldn't access it. Nobody. The data was isolated from the internet. You say, well, that's not very user-friendly. Yeah, I know. But it's an isolation chamber for data. And that's another type of clean room. Big companies would ask us about our data security and all the different protocols and all the different stuff that you can have. And we said, look, here's how we do it. You transfer it to one machine, and then we walk it to the real machine, and there is no data left on the transfer machine, and the other one has no internet connection. It's completely walled off. Somebody have to break in here and know what they were doing, which isn't going to happen, right? Okay, so now what's funny is that the cloud backlash has begun. People are finding out that they're spending at least 30% premium to have their data in some cool location where everybody can access it, and we're going to trust the cloud manufacturer for the security and for all of the applications. And what happens if the cloud manufacturer decides they don't want to let you pull your data out of their cloud and things like that. And so now people are finding out that there's about a 30% savings. In fact, some companies are now spending up to twice as much on cloud services as before they migrated. So this stuff matters. NVIDIA estimates that moving large specialized AI and ML workloads back on premises can yield a 30% savings at least. Disks are cheap. Processors are cheap. It's really, really not that hard. And if you have the clean room mindset, which is don't let anybody access the data, then you will have a really nice, secure little setup. Very inexpensive. Okay, both of those are good articles. This is the best one, though. I see David commented, Ryan really wants to own a chunk of the Ottawa Senators, which is for sale. He's a refreshing entrant to the NHL Owners Club. Yeah, he would be. He would be. They could sell gin at the break instead of beer. I don't know if they do that. Yeah, probably. When I was in school, the Badgers could sell beer because they weren't part of their hockey team was part of the Western Collegiate Hockey Association, WCHA, which had beer. Beer was allowed at the games. And 18 was the drinking age in Wisconsin, so everybody could drink. It was great fun. And then, then the NCAA, then Big Ten got in on it, and we couldn't have beer at the hockey games anymore, or some crazy thing like that. It's a really goofy world. There's hardly any drunks at the Badger football. It's just really different. It's really different than when I was there. Okay, so ad budgets. Why are ad budgets the first to be cut during a recession? The answer, Craig Huey doesn't really give the answer. The answer is that the CFO and probably the CEO doesn't really believe that there's a connection. Not a real tight connection anyway. Not a big connection between the ad spending and the ad results. And that's just the bottom line. The bottom line is that the CFO thinks he's pouring this money down a rat hole for creativity, and he doesn't see the needle bump because most advertising is ineffective, untrackable, and dull. And so he says, well, let's see what happens. He's going to perform his own MEDAX testing. So if you're not willing to test and prove your marketing now, you will get the MEDAX holdout test, where the CFO says, hey, let's just cut out X out of your budget. Let's cut out TV. Let's cut out social media. Let's cut out pay-per-click. Let's cut out something and see if anything changes. That's not the best way to test, but it's a good way to test. And if you don't test now, you'll test later. Pay me now or pay me later. Okay? So, if you really want to get this off the ground, what you want to do is you want to call in before your CFO calls you in and says, we're just going to MEDAX you to see if it's really been doing any good. Of course, he's going to cut when maybe nobody's buying anyway. So there could be a real self-fulfilling prophecy here. Quantum color. I don't know who that is. But if you're calling, you don't know that I'm live. So don't call when I'm live, for heaven's sakes. What kind of impolite is that? Quantum Color sounds like a printing company. I hope it is. I hope they call back. Okay, cutting your advertising budget. 78% said they're going to cut the budget. Okay, only 10% said they're going to increase the budget. I don't know where this data comes from. There's no clue, right? But here are the studies. No footnote. A lot of stuff happens, a lot of good stuff. Oh, here's McGraw-Hill research study of recession marketing. There's a 365%. I love that. I love when they take extra digits for companies that maintained or increased their budget. Hello, Miglash Marketing. Yeah. Hi, Cheryl from Quantum. What's Quantum? Oh, Cheryl. Oh, Cheryl. Nice to hear from you. Cheryl, you're live with me on the air. Yeah. Yeah, every morning at 10 a.m. I'm live, and I've been wanting to talk with you for weeks. That stuff we talked about, it's real. But I'm in the middle of the live stream, so I probably should call you back or something. Okay, thanks, Cheryl. Nice to talk to you. Bye. Oh, that was Cheryl Kahanick, CEO of Quantum down in Illinois. Okay, and we got some. I love when people call. How cool. I just can't erase this now. I don't know what to do. But anyway, if you call me during the show, you can be on. I almost put her on speakerphone. She sounded so fun. Yep, she did call back, but a little quicker than I was hoping. A man who stops advertising to save money is like a man who stops a clock to save time. Okay? And here's the length of recessions. But the conclusion of this article is really rock solid. Why you should be using direct response advertising during a recession. Direct response marketing delivers many benefits due to the quick ROI. The fact is, it is easy to track and measure. But if you don't test, then you don't. Craig, you left out the word test. Let's just see if there's the word test is in there. Test. Enter. Nope. 0 results. Okay, so there's no, and if all you do is measure, you have to understand, if all you do is measure, your CFO won't believe you anyway. You need to set up field valid scientific experiments. You need to identify the incremental benefit of one advertising channel versus another. It has to do more than would have happened without it. Otherwise, they're going to cut your budget. It's just that simple. Do you understand that? I talked about ROI yesterday. You need to assess the incremental benefit of every dollar you spend. It's the incremental benefit that makes a difference. If you have a big sign on your building and people are stopping in anyhow, keep the sign up. But all the rest of it doesn't amount to a hill of beans. Okay? It's all about incremental, not just sales, but profitability. Okay? And if there isn't incremental profit from your advertising, then your CFO is right to meet X, cut it out along with you. So if you want to keep your job, want to keep your company healthy, find somebody who's gone through 3 recessions, 4 recessions. Let's see in this chart. Let's see how many recessions I've been through. Okay, the Great Depression, no. The Carter recession, I was working in printing and in commercial instrumentation. So we went through that one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Hire somebody who's been through 7 recessions and helped grow companies in the middle of it. That's what you're looking for. Find out how to test incremental benefit. That's what testing is about. It's not about, oh, we tried this and it did a little better. We tried that. What would it have done if you did nothing? Right? It's a famous scientist that said, until we know what nature would look like if we just did nothing, we don't know what our impact is. To assess impact, you need to assess incremental change. Have a great day. Like and share. Your friends will know you're smart. Bye-bye. Go Badgers.